So we survived another week in the stock market, guys, and at this point, I feel like I can do anything. And look, man, we had a pretty good green day today to end off the week. The Dow went up 1.1%. Get ready for this. The Russell went up 2.8%. Yes, almost a 3% green day for the small caps, as the S&P went up 1% on the dot. Looking at SPY and QQQ, 0.75% on the dot. So, we had a very good day today. VIX went down 11-12%, and Palantir went down. Go figure, right? We had a nice bounce back day. Palantir went down. We went down 0.5%, closed at 154. So, I want to do a quick chart breakdown, go over where I think we could be going. We'll break down the longer-term charts, where my head's at, and some other stocks later in the video. So guys, let's dive into it. Let's do it. So again, Palantir, 0.5% red day, and we can see we actually got down to the mid-40s today. 147, guys. We got nailed this morning. We were down, I think, at one point, like 4 or 5%. Yeah, 5 or 12%, and we took the lows out from yesterday. Look, yesterday we closed at 155. We actually went down to 152 in the aftermarket, if I could talk today. Guys. Yesterday we got down to 152, and again we hit 147 today, taking out those lows and continuing the downtrend on this 30-minute chart. You guys can see which I mean. Look, we've been downtrending now. This entire month? Not news, right? Everybody knows that. So yeah, we took the lows out, continuing the downtrend on PLTR, and we're now officially down. We must be down almost 30%. Yeah, holy smokes. Exactly 30% at least from 222. I don't know if that's the exact all-time high. You guys know, think or swim, actually. Yeah, I mean, look, that was after earnings, so I guess we did hit 222, but, sometimes think or swim. These charting platforms have glitches here and there, whatever. But yeah, 222 down to 154. We're now down 30% in a bear market. We're in it, guys. We're in the thick of it now. And the more you pull the layers back, the more it makes sense. Look, did I not mention this 180 SMA on the 1-year chart yesterday? I'm pretty sure that was in yesterday's video. You guys can see that's at about 144 on this 1-year chart. And again, where do we hit today? 147. And we had a nice V-shaped recovery off 147. Not saying that this is going to be the bottom. We're going to rock it right back here. Keep in mind, Palantir could now trade flat for a month or two. It got nailed these last couple weeks. Keep in mind now, we could trade flat and then go from there, But we did get a nice V-shaped recovery off that support, which is something I'm going to be watching here, not just for the next couple days, but for the coming weeks. I want to see how the stock reacts at this moving average on the 1-year and on the 3-year chart. You guys can see, right around the 50 SMA, 130, 135. That's a big support level as well. So we're seeing if you pull the layers back, we're seeing a very healthy pullback on Palantir. It is what it is, guys, and we've seen this time and time again throughout the last couple of years in the stock and people panic. It's the same thing over and over again with this stock, and every stock for that matter, where there are cycles. We have especially for growth stocks, man. High beta, high growth stocks like Palantir. We have those booms, and then we have the massive drawdowns. And when people are just investing in a Palantir, for example, during the the up cycles, especially if they're a novice, right? If they just got into the market, they're investing when everything's green. They don't realize these types of stocks take nasty pullbacks. And a lot of the time, they're not ready for these pullbacks. And we're seeing it literally right now. And you know how I know, guys? Because I'm getting comments literally every single day. I make content on every platform you can think of. And I kind of have a pulse on the retail investor community. And a lot of people are like, oh my God, they're panicking. Palantir's down, Nvidia's down, the stock market's down.
Ow.
But what people don't realize is now is the time to buy, accumulate, not to panic sell. If you have a, 5, 10, 15-year time horizon, Now's the time to accumulate, buy, and just hold. The best thing you can do, literally, is just hold. You don't have to buy if you don't want to. Just hold, because again, Palantir has seen these drawdowns, nasty drawdowns. Back in early 2025, this year we went down from 126 to about 65, saw a huge run. Even before that, we got up to it looks like here we hit $85 back in the end of last year, about a year ago, end of December. We went to, hit 85 bucks. We went down to 63. That was a 25% drawdown in a very quick 2-3 week span. So this happens with this stock and with really all high beta, high growth stocks. So this is something that you have to realize and be able to stomach when you're buying these stocks. It's like, it's wild when people buy stocks and they're like, oh my God, stocks, it's down 10%. Should I sell? Should I sell? What should I do? It's like the whole point of the stock market, man, is to buy and hold long term. Obviously, there are different strategies. You can swing trade, day trade, but when I'm talking about a lot of these stocks, and I try and be like, okay, I'm talking about this from a long-term perspective, from a trading perspective, I try and distinguish those. But a lot of the time, it's from a long-term perspective, right? We talk about these things. You just have to hold. Take advantage of the dip. And the whole point of investing is buying and holding and taking advantage of the dips, right? These 30% drawdowns. And people just, it's crazy pay. It doesn't register a lot of the time. Not with everybody. Obviously, but people that just get into it right there, it's like it's weird sometimes. I don't get it, but I do get it right because people are emotional. People are, it's a psychological game. People don't like seeing their money go down. I obviously understand why people are panicking. But I try and be that voice of reason and be like, listen, man, I've seen this happen before. I've seen it happen time and time again. Take advantage of it because in a couple months, you'll thank yourself. I try and be that voice of reason, guys. And here with Palantir, I think it could come down a little more. You could make that argument, but I really don't think there's much more downside here. I do think that this story is not over. It's far from over. And I'm close to buying the dip. And this is coming from somebody that it's hard. I mean, look, I'm in the stock at 20 bucks a share average. So I'm thinking about it. It is hard, but I have such conviction that we're going to go back towards 17,520. It's like why not add a little bit? Don't you want to add and continue adding to stocks you believe in over the next 5-10 years? If the answer is yeah, I'm kind of talking to myself here. Add to the position, So, I don't know. What do you guys think? I think we're in a good drawdown here. Healthy drawdown. And ultimately, if you look at the 3 or 1 year charts, it was healthy. And I think it's going to get bought up. Do you? Let me know in the comments. And man, what a day. What a day for the stock market today. We had a lot of those higher beta, high growth names go up. What's it called? Open Door. We haven't covered this in a little bit. The Open Door went up 10% today. And this is one that's interesting, right? We're actually putting in a higher low here. And by no means is it fully breaking out yet. But notice how Open Door is putting in these little higher lows. If I get the channel tool out, if I draw it out, we're still in this, right? Yeah, pretty much, yeah. So we're still in this, but we're trying to make these higher lows. Watch out if the market really turns around next week. Watch out for a nice push, maybe back towards $758 on Open Door. I kind of wish. I added some here before earnings or after earnings when it was in the 4 or 5 range, as a trade. That in hindsight, that would have been beautiful. But I didn't. I'm watching it though. We had stocks like Circle, which I just started buying literally, I think a week ago. No joke. Last Friday I bought. So yeah, I'm down on that, but I'm just literally dipping my toes into Circle. I really don't own many shares at all at this point. But it did go up 6.5%. I'm slowly scaling in, and the lockup periods, expire. I'm pretty sure it's fully expired now. It's been 6 months. So this stock, Yeah, I think there could be some more pain with the crypto market being horrible, right? We hit 80 on Bitcoin today. So if that continues to bleed out a little bit, I think Circle could come down to the 60s, dare I say, 50s. And if it gets that bad, oh man, yeah, I'm going to build this out. Not to a crazy position. But you know, I wanna build it out a little bit because I think Circle pretty good stock, pretty good company. You know, and I do want to have it in the portfolio. I made a video on it about a week ago or a couple days ago. Don't want to get too deep into it here, but yeah, I think this one's got upside. I think it's got legs when the crypto market turns back around because ultimately, man, yeah, Bitcoin could go down to 66.5K. But do you really think it's going to go under a 60K during this bear market we're in?